Tomorrow begins a very critical sequence, a very critical time for President Trump. And the questions that you are asking is, can Trump actually be stopped? Can he be stopped? Can he be clobbered? Can he be impeded? Can he be shelved and sidelined and destroyed by any prosecutions or lawsuits? That's what you want to know. And I've been hearing people on various shows say, don't worry about it. It's garbage. It's complete garbage. Really? Oh, yeah. Complete garbage. Total. Really? Yeah, nothing to worry about. They're going to appeal. They're going to reverse it on appeal. Who is? The courts. Why is it? Well, no legal expert can understand what it's about. Everybody thinks it's bogus. And you think that means something. You think that means something. How many lawyers were sued and disbarred for basically representing President Trump in defending his ability to challenge the franchise, to challenge what he believes to be the interruption of the franchise? He thinks his election was stolen. What is he supposed to do? Go away? You don't think that? How did that happen? How did that happen? People then were saying, well, so what I'm telling you is, yes, I agree. It is the most specious of reasonings, and how it has withstood motions to dismiss. I guess with Judge Merchan, he figures, I'm not going to dismiss this case. This is my ticket. New York is a Democratic bastion. It is Tammany Hall like you cannot believe. It does not exist at the same level, at the same level, if you will, as any other city, as any other place on the planet. So whatever you may do in your city, in your state, your county, forget it. This is New York, and it works completely different. But it is not over by any stretch of the imagination. And it is not, he's not sunk, and it is not a waste of time. Many, many, many things can happen in his favor. One of the best things is the complete and total collapse of Fani Willis. That case deserves complete and total review. In any event, dear friends, stand by. Thank you so very much for joining us. If you have any questions, please weigh in. I'm here to help. Our number to call is, we have no number. Please subscribe to the channel. My friends, the subscriptions are critical, especially some people are finding that their subscriptions are being unsubscribed. I don't know why. I don't know what to tell you. So please do that. Also, please, I ask, beseech, importune, and implore you to, above all, do everything in your power to like this video, to like it, to love it, to be a part of it, and to help join our family and let it grow. But before we begin, my friends, tomorrow I think tomorrow is the last day. You better hurry up, because the best deal ever from our friends at My Patriot Supply are here for emergency food. This is like this, okay? If the other deals won't get you, this one will. Listen carefully to preparewithlionel.com. It's no longer a question of if something is coming, it's when. The only shock, the what, the how. While you still have some control, what are you going to do about it? Well, the first step is to go to my website at preparewithlionel.com. The next step is stocking up on multiple one-week emergency food kits from My Patriot Supply. Priced at under $50, now's the time to buy in bulk. My Patriot Supply is equipped to help you prepare. They've helped over 2 million families already. These one-week kits with ready-hour foods provide over 2,000 calories every day. And they're sealed inside a rugged ammo can so they can last to up to 25 years in storage. So just grab it and go in emergencies. Get these kits for under $50 this week only at preparewithlionel.com. That's preparewithlionel.com. Now, my friends, I recognize the fact that many of you are very upset, and for good reason. Many of you are getting a little nervous. Dean Diefendorf. Thank you, Dean. Thank you for that. Thank you immensely. Grazie mille. Many of you fine folks are recognizing a couple of things here. You're scared. Now, let me remind you, this should really get your attention. 205 days until the election. 205 days. Everything that happens now is important. Can the president be convicted of a crime? Yes. Can the president be sentenced to prison? No. Does this invalidate him? No. Would they have to, suspend it? Yes. Right. Eugene V. Debs ran for president in like in 1900 or when he was a socialist from prison. Article 2 has nothing to do, with being a convicted felon or anything. It just says you got to be 35, natural born citizen, and that's it. That's what the Constitution says. It's kind of a practical, it puts a bit of a damper on everything, but that's it. Now, we can go through this. I can explain to you, and I can tell you, and I can say that what tomorrow's case about is basically a misdemeanor. It is a misdemeanor that, for all practical purposes, has lapsed. The statute of limitations has lapsed. They basically bootstrap this as felonies, and there's all kinds of talk about Stormy Saddles and Dusty Saddles and Hope Hicks and all these other people. Go ahead. How they present the case, and you listen to me. You cannot believe anything you hear. You cannot believe anything you hear. Nothing. Unless you're in court. Do I trust? Do I even know the president's legal team? I don't know. All I ask is this. Please, Mr. President, keep Alina Habba out of this. She wants to be the star. She wants to be at Mar-a-Lago. She wants to be at, she wants to, go to St. Bart's. She wants to be, the Bell. She wants to be in Daily Mail, then be hot and all that. Please, sir, please, I beg you, get somebody who's stoic, a guy with white hair, somebody who's respectful, somebody who does not go out and stick it to the judge. That may play great with people, not during a trial, sir. I ask you. There's going to be plenty times when you're going to say to yourself, this doesn't make any sense. I'm being hammered. And you're right. You are right. You are being railroaded. You are being mistreated. There is no doubt about that. You are absolutely right, sir. Please, I beg you, don't act the way you feel. Watch what you say, sir. Please. No tweeting. Talk about you can't wait to hit the campaign trail. Look how much wonderful things I've done. Don't let the case go on with jurors who are going to read, sir, something that you have put. I know you want to push the gag order. I know the gag rule. I know. I think it is absolutely patently unconstitutional, sir. I so agree with you. But please, for the love of God, I implore you, do not, sir, do not find yourself in the position where you are goading, chiding, where you are taunting anything, not the judge, not the clerk, not the other side, not the prosecutor, not Alvin Bragg, not the jurors, nobody. In fact, nothing will infuriate them more, sir, if you don't do this. Start talking about, quote, Oliver Wendell Holmes, quote, the Magna Carta, anything. Talk about the Constitution, our great country, our great tradition. Sir, anything. I beg you, like I cannot beg anymore. Please, sir, do not do that. Now, many folks love when he goes off the rails. They love this. They don't have his best interests at heart. They think everything is Fox News. They kind of think this is a joke. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. I want you to recognize who our enemies are here. Whoever gets Trump first wins. Now, Tish James has this case which sought to bankrupt them, but I don't think that's going to work. You've got the Jack Smith case, and that just, those are criminal penalties. Okay, that's federal scary stuff. Federal is scary. Believe it or not, the one that really scared me more than anything else, crazy as it is that loony Fannie Willis case, because it's racketeering. Now, I just want you to understand, this is the way it is. Mr. President, when you walk into trial, I want you to sit respectfully. They're going to be watching you every single moment. Don't do this. Don't do that. How does an innocent person look? Like this. Waiting. Just waiting. Just waiting. Sitting back and just waiting. Just being a part of this thing. Just waiting. That's all. Just being a part of this world. That's all. Just sitting back and saying, okay, are we done with this? Stand up when the jury comes in. Stand up. Just be as they're going to be waiting. Judge Mershon is going to be waiting. Everybody's going to be waiting for you to lose your mind. Don't do this. I don't know what the defense is. I have no earthly idea. What is the defense? What are you going to do? Do you challenge the documents? Do you challenge their case? Or do you advance something? Do you have experts? Now, you can't bring up the fact that the feds didn't want that. The U.S. Attorney's Office didn't want that. Nobody wanted this. Cy Vance didn't want this, the predecessor. Nobody wanted this dog of a case but you. Can't bring that up. Can't bring that up. But that's a reality. That's a reality. And I'll bet you there are motions in limine that would prevent anybody from daring to bring that up. Do not bring that up. Do not say that the feds declined, that they couldn't do anything with this. And if the feds don't want it, nobody wants it. And you can sit there, maybe in closing, you could talk about what the charges mean. You got to get some leeway. You can only talk about the evidence, but maybe you can talk a little bit about, closing closing argument is when you get a little bit kind of. Prosecutors have to be very careful because of things like the golden rule. How would you feel if you went out and your grandmother was beaten? No. Not how would you feel? Or let's send a message out. No message sending, please. Please, for the love of God. Hillbilly 55 says, is there anything to the idea that Jack Smith was illegally appointed? I've heard that, and it sounds extremely novel. But I don't know if the rule which allegedly was violated, if that would result in the case being thrown out. Is he without jurisdiction? Is that it? Or was there just some rule, something that provided, I'm not sure what the particular phrase is. Maybe there was something about the case maybe well, for example, let's say that there was, if what am I trying to say? I'm waxing. Hang on here. If there is, hang on 1 second. If there is something that says you are without jurisdiction. You are without jurisdiction. You know what I would say? Oh, good. Anybody else you'd like? Yeah. Jerry? Does Jerry have jurisdiction? Jerry, come here. You're going to be doing the prosecution. Are they going to throw it all out? No. They might say, is this fungible? Fungible is a wonderful term. I love it. That's where one thing is as good as the other. Oranges, grapes are fungible. Each one is as good as the other one. You got one grape, now you got two. They got twice as many. So that's it. The issue that I would go for is, number one, you want to knock them out in motions to dismiss pretrial. That didn't work. Okay. Number two, interlocutory appeal. See if you can get to an appellate judge before this happens. Interlocutory. While the case is still going on. Normally you go to the appellate court for all final appeals. Third, jury instructions. Jury instructions are the dream come true. Jury instructions are what we all need. Jury instructions, oh my God. Jury instructions they are so sadly overlooked. I've had cases where there is some story which is good law. Something that's, good law, something that's really, good law, something that's like, okay, this might work. And see. So we have good law, and then you take this one case. For example, let's say there's a case out of the first department that says something to the effect that, I don't know, something to the effect that you have to prove intent, and intent can be vitiated, or that the mere labeling. Let's assume there is a case that absolutely, positively is perfect. And you go to the judge and you say, I want this as a jury instruction. Really? Because you have the standard jury instructions. Standard jury instructions are what you normally go and look at. And they have all the charges. Sometimes the charges are weird, like this one. I don't think there's a standard jury instruction for this. But for example, robbery, they've all been written. This is what the jurors are read and what they're told that the law is. This is what, if you find this, this, and this, you must find him guilty. The opening statement. You want to give him a hook. You want to give them a hook, something that they will never forget. Something to the effect of, I want you to listen specifically to this part. You don't want to tip off the person, but I want you to listen. And I want you to listen specifically to the information, to the provision regarding Mr. Cohen's testimony. Listen carefully. You don't have to remember, opening statement is the first thing you do. I used to say that an opening statement, this kids won't understand this. Remember when you put together a puzzle? If you put together a puzzle and you look at the cover, the box, to see what the hell are we looking at here? Okay, that's it. And it tells you where the sky is and where the grass is and where the tree is. So you get this piece and you go, oh, this must be a sky. Put that at the top. Why? Because it's blue. Okay, that's that. But without that picture, you don't know where you're going. You don't know where you're going. That's what an opening statement is. And the opening statement always says this: the evidence will show. The evidence will show. The evidence will show. You can't argue your case, but the evidence will show. Judge Mershon will instruct you, and the evidence will show. We submit to you, ladies and gentlemen, that the evidence will show. And don't make it lawyerese. Get to the bottom line. And we expect that when all of the evidence is in, and all of the evidence is there, we submit to you right now that you will not be able to unanimously vote and agree that the people, the state of New York, have proved the case beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt and within a moral certainty. What that is you will have so many doubts, so many questions that you will not be able to render a verdict of guilty. But in the meantime, thank you. Thank you for being here. You always make it sound like you invited them, like they didn't get a subpoena. You invited them. Jury selection's over. That's done. Jury selection would be, if you had a liberal, what I mean by that, jury selection practice, it would be the most wonderful thing in the world. Oh, dear God, it would be beautiful. Mrs. Johnson. Yes. Do you recognize my client? And they start to laugh. I just want to make sure. I don't know if anybody told you this, but at one time he had a pretty important job prior to today. Pretty important. Yes, he hosted Celebrity Apprentice. You can say that. You can do that. Humanize him, and you have him kind of laugh. You want them to look at him and just say, doesn't seem like a bad guy. Doesn't seem like a bad guy as opposed to that son of a bitch. Cases have been lost by attitude. Cases have been lost by, I mean to tell you, there's some people have looked weird. They've just, especially if it's a bad case involving bad things, it's weird clothes, weird, like big collars and big, just, ooh. The guy says he's guilty. He screams guilty. Ladies and gentlemen, Barry Taylor says, not to change the subject, but again, you are changing the subject, Barry. Don't tell me not to change the subject because you're changing the subject. I love you. I kid you. Not to change the subject, but I've heard rumor that if special interests were removed, the law books would be an inch thick. Nah. I know that sounds... You see, Barry, the problem with not the law books, it's a discretion. It's what I do with it. You elect me to be the prosecutor, the state attorney, the state's attorney, the district attorney. I have tremendous discretion. Tremendous discretion. I don't have to charge anybody with anything. Andrew Warren was the state attorney, the DA, for Hillsborough County, for the 13th Judicial Circuit, of which I used to be a member of. I still have my old badge here somewhere. And he basically said, and I'm not going to file any cases against anybody for the transgender. And Ron DeSantis said, oh, really? Well, I'm going to get rid of you then. Why? Because you are to enforce the law. We'll give you some discretion, but you're not going to say, I'm not going to. No. You have some discretion, but not, and anybody charge anybody who is, unless you steal over $50,000, no cash bail. It's like, wait a minute, what do you mean no cash bail? But what? Stuff like that. That's discretion. But what Ron DeSantis did, the best thing he ever did was he basically told this guy, you cannot do that. And for that reason, I love him as a governor. As a governor. As a governor. I know special. You tell me where there's anything. The more, and by the way, my dear friend, you want to get rid of, you want to get rid of this? Get rid of the politics. For the most part, federal judges have it great because the federal judge can basically, he's there for life. He doesn't have to worry about anything. He can do whatever he wants. Now, we found out that what they want to do sometimes is not, necessarily commensurate or it doesn't jibe with our own particular ways of thinking. And you make a very good point. I'm not trying to defend anything. I'm telling you, it's kind of sort of the way it is. Hang on one second, Barry. Barry, I don't know about you, but I think you need some rest. And if you needed rest, the best place you can seek rest from is our good friends from a little company you might have heard of. It's called mypillow.com. And if you use promo code Lionel, not only do you get a free gift, which is tautological, I understand, but you get, well, just listen to this. Well, it's time yet again to hail and salute our great friends at mypillow.com. And if you use promo code Lionel, you get a free gift. No purchase necessary. I know, a free gift. Gifts are free. Okay, it's a tautology, so sue me. But listen to me and listen carefully. What are we talking about here? Down comforters, flannel sheets, Giza Dream bed sheets, My Pillow 2.0 body pillows, waffle blankets, couch and recliner pillows, sheets, slippers, percales. I'm not even done yet. Towels, quilts, bedspreads, mattresses, mattress covers, mattress toppers, linens, kitchen towels, bathrobes, pet blankets, bolster pillows, name it. Items to help you luxuriate and relax. And their monster sellers, slippers, my slippers, slip-ons, moccasins. Think about it. What do they do at MyPillow? What's their main goal? To make things real soft, plush, real comfy, or comfy as I say it. How perfect. So here's the link right now. Go to mypillow.com/Lionel. mypillow.com, promo code Lionel or /Lionel, or call 800-645-4965. 800-645-4965. And watch how fast our good friend Mike Lindell answers the phone. mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, simply and absolutely the best. I want to talk also more about trial appearance. This is critical. President Trump would not like me giving him advice because I would tell him, first of all, we're going to do a couple of things. You're not going to smirk. we're going to practice. I want you to think that you are a juror. I don't want you to ever turn to me, I'm his lawyer, and do this. Do not write things down. Believe me, I do not want your opinion. You may think you've got a great point. You might say, she's lying. I know that. Do not do that. Sounds like you're nervous. I want you to sit and act like you're a juror. Just listen to it. No matter what you hear, just listen to it. Don't look down. Don't look up. Don't look at your watch. Don't do whatever it is. Just pay attention. That's all. Pay attention. And look like you're just listening to a fairy tale. Now, at some particular point, I hope during jury selection, I don't know if this happens. I would love to say, Ms. Solak, is it? You're called the den mother, aren't I? Elizabeth? Do you mind if I call you Elizabeth? I did that one time. I told you. I asked a juror. I said, "What do your friends call you?" And the prosecutor went crazy. Objection. He goes, "What?" Made me look like the nicest guy, and this guy like a jerk. What do your friends call you? I want to be your friend. Ms. Solak, have you ever heard the expression, the presumption of innocence? It's one of those things you probably heard and you thought, That's good. What does that mean? You ever hear the Fifth Amendment? Taking the fifth. What does that mean, right? Guilty people take the fifth, right? Isn't that what people think, right? That's what people think, isn't it? Hey, he took the fifth. High five. I mean, after all, if you've got nothing to hide, right? Right? Come on, it's okay. It's okay. That's what people think. But you know, Ms. Solak, the drafters of the Constitution kind of thought a lot about that Fifth Amendment. And they knew it was precisely, in some cases, for guilty people or whatever years. But you, as the jury, determine who's guilty. Did you know, Ms. Solak, you probably did not know that the entire Bill of Rights has nothing to do with the police, victims. It has to do with citizens and what the government can't do. And one of them is, if you want to bring charges against Elizabeth, I call her Elizabeth. If you want to bring charges against her, well, it's your job. It's your duty. Don't look at us to help. I don't care what it is. If you charge somebody with killing John F. Kennedy and you think it's impossible, I wasn't even born then. I'm not going to let you take the stand. Why? You don't have to. You prove it. I'm not going to help you. You prove it. I don't have anything to hide. It's not my job. You prove it. You understand that? It's their job to prove it. And the real reason is you don't want to get on that stand. If somebody asks you some question and you fall apart or say something stupid or open up a can of worms or open up oh my God, the worst thing is you open the door. Oh no, you said something that we weren't going to get into. It's kind of like Fannie Willis. Nobody knew anything about her affair until she started lying. So I would say, Miss Olak, does that bother you? Because I'm telling you right now, I want everybody to understand it. Hear from me. My client, you might have heard of him, Mr. Trump, President Trump, is not going to testify. Does that bother anybody? I'm telling you right now, he's not going to testify over my dead body. Why? Because the drafters of the Constitution thought enough of the Fifth Amendment, and I'm not going to insult them. It's a right. The Fifth Amendment, right. It's a right. Like the First Amendment is a right. And what am I doing? I'm teaching them. I'm teaching them. I'm actually saying, thank you for not testifying. It's your right, damn it. Yes. 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 Then you say things that you don't want to act. You don't want to act like Alfred Bragg. You don't want to make him sound like he's a bad guy. You want to kind of feel sorry for him. Now there's going to be some assistant DA. I don't know. Let's say his name is Smiling Sue. And I'm going to say, ladies and gentlemen, Smiling Sue has done an important job. But I've got to tell you something. This is a closing. Smiling Sue had quite the burden. Because this case, if you understand it, that makes one of us. Because I'm here charged with doing a closing argument. I'm not even sure what this was about. I think what they're saying was that President Trump, and motions eliminate jury instructions. NDAs are illegal. Non-disclosure agreements are legal. Remember the woman? Her name was McDougal. Remember her? She was one of the girls, and she posed for Playboy. And this guy Pecker, I think his name was Pecker. What a great name! Who owned the National Enquirer? I think they paid her off, bought her story, and told her, "Now shut up. We own your story. Now shut up." They bought the story and killed it. That's why you don't know her name. Dusty Saddles, another story. Dusty Saddles, another story. I would also make sure, oh my God, that people understand. Now, you do understand this has nothing to do with rape, sexual battery, none of that stuff. You understand that? You see where E. Jean Carroll had a gun removed from her house? Did you hear that story? Oh. So there's all kinds of stuff. This is the trial work part. You want that jury to be focused on one thing, and you want them to be proud. So that when they go home, they can say, well, you know what? I didn't like that President Trump. I never voted for him. But you know what? This case was a piece of dog shit. They never proved anything. I don't even understand it. She signed an NDA. They paid her for that, which is completely normal. And then he put it instead of this column, he put it in that column. I don't even know what the hell that means. And they're claiming that maybe he used this as some kind of a campaign thing. You've got to be kidding me. This is how desperate they were. This is what Alvin Bragg said. Let me tell you again. The feds didn't want it. Cy Vance, his predecessor, didn't want it. Nobody wanted this except Al. Al says, I'm going to do something with this. And you know what? He might. This jury might say, okay, sounds good to me. And by the way, I'm going to say something to you that you really, really, really are going to be shocked at. I don't think juries are as corrupt as you think. And I'm going to say something else. I understand exactly why the jury found O.J. Simpson not guilty. And they might have been biased. It might have been a black thing, but it was also an evidence thing. I promise you. I know that may shock you, but it's true. I have seen things you cannot believe. Everything you can imagine about jurors. Don't get a black juror if you're the prosecutor because they want to walk everybody. No, they don't. Where'd you get that from? Well, because they got somebody in their family who's a... No, they probably know. In many cases, listen to me, but a lot of black folks have more connected with the notion of crime than you are. Don't dismiss them. Don't let them fall by the wayside because you... No. Doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. I know what you're thinking. People always think that there's this rule. They should do this all the time. Teachers are great for the prosecutor. Why? Well, especially, teachers are great because they follow the rules. Are you kidding? Teachers? A lot of these teachers, they break the rules. They want to get out. They hate their job. How do I get out? They love the rubber room. They abuse the hell of the system during COVID. What do you mean that they follow the rules? Where did that come from? Oh, military are great too. Military are great, especially DUIs because they're all drunks. I used to hear that too. I say, no, they follow the rules, dude. Anything you think you're gonna say, anything, you never know. The only thing is you want to hang that jury up. You want to say, Ms. Dalton, Faye, did they call you Faye? Okay, Faye. Ms. Dalton, let me ask you something. I want you to imagine that you were the lone holdout here. The lone holdout. You go back in that room and you sit down and like from, 12 Angry Men or whatever it is, and somebody says, okay, let's vote guilty, right? And you say, not so fast. And you've heard about this. It's very, very popular in our City Lumet, 12 Angry Men, and blah, blah. Are you really able to say that you would hold your own and say, I'm not budging? I don't think, assuming this is true, I am not going to vote guilty. No matter what you say, you can't pressure me. That's what I believe. I swore to tell the truth. I swore to follow my conscience in the prosecution. And could you do that? And if your friends found out that you were responsible for ultimately acquitting or not convicting President Donald Trump, and it gets back, are you telling us right now that you have the moral fiber and the backbone to sit there and say, I don't care who it is? The law is the law and the Constitution shall prevail. Is that what you're telling me? And they'll say, yes. And so will everybody else. Great. I want you to feel proud of it. And I want you to go back and I want you to find I'm not guilty. I'm already arguing the case. I haven't heard any evidence yet. You want them to go in with these blinders on. You understand this? This is the thing which is the most important. This is so important, so important that people understand this. That's the thing. That's the idea. You write some wonderful things. Let me tell you something. This is a wonderful thing, my friends. And and by the way, I appreciate it. We don't ever like to put people in timeout, like some kind of, every now and then somebody will come along and say, just interrupt and be disruptive. And it's not, listen, but it's not, it's like, come on, please. We all have to get along. Listen to this one. This is the best one. Citizen Kent says your next president shall be the victorious John Carl Fetterman of Pennsylvania, and Fetterman will not pardon a career criminal Trump. This is what it says. This is what Citizen Kent said. Mr. or Ms. Kent, or they, thank you for your thoughts, and I respect your opinion no matter what it is. Mr. Fetterman's really coming around, isn't he? Huh? John Fetterman, John is like, he woke no mo. And he sounds lucid. He sounds pretty good. Have you noticed that? I think so. West says they should pick illegal migrants for the jury. One of these days it may happen. Maybe. I like this one. New York civil case jurors are predisposed to corruption of financial relations. Well, the jurors are the same. You don't know who they are. You just go over here, and this one goes over there, and you meet in the Venari, and you got a criminal case, and you got a civil case, and you have a landlord-tenant, and you've got whatever, and that's it. You don't know who they are. There's no such thing as a civil. The thing about civil cases, by the way, is that there is a lower burden. It's preponderance of the evidence versus reasonable doubt. So if they have any kind of indication of such. Okay. Did you notice how Fetterman kind of snapped out of something, though? I think one of you mentioned it. Did you notice that? You don't think he was playing this, do you? No. You don't think that? No. But he's kind of fooling them there in Pennsylvania, isn't he? Sort of, maybe. We'll see about this. So tomorrow we're going to be watching this. I hope all of us, I hope we watch this incredible case as much as possible. Let me ask you something. Do you believe that criminal cases should be televised? Yes or no? I know what you're going to say. Do you believe that cases, forget federal because there's a rule, but let's say state, should be televised? Anybody? We got a no, got a no, got a yes, got a yes. Got a yes? No? I say no. I used to say yes all the time. I say no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The question I wonder is where is Joe Tacopina? Why is Joe Tacopina not on that? He was the guy before. He had those eyes, had those Simon Cowell eyes done. Where is Joe Tacopina? Where is Joe Tacopina? Where is he? Or Tapioca, as my friend calls him. Where'd he go? Did they not pay him? He's Mr. I like the lawyers who are very quiet. I like the ones who don't do a lot of interviews. Remember Harvey Weinstein's female? Don't do interviews till after you're done. Ashley Merchant's falling into that. Ashley Merchant, don't go on the Megyn Kelly show. Don't do this. Not yet. Win your case first, then do it. I know you get business in the meantime. I understand how that works, but don't do this. Publicity is not your friend for the trial, especially when you want a judge or a jury to do something that you don't think they want to. Don't give them a reason by calling a lot of attention to what you're doing. Let them rule your way and be quiet about it. But anytime Ashley Merchant walks in the courtroom, what are they doing? Something going on with Fannie Willis? No, I'm here for a traffic ticket. Oh, okay. See what she's done? She's become like a lightning rod. That's not good. You want to go in and quiet. Every now and then, one case in particular, I had somebody who it was going to be a plea, nothing bad, like a DUI or something, but I didn't want anybody to know about it. And I did everything in my power. We did it the right way. It was done in front of the judge, but it was at the end of the docket. And I kept quiet. Didn't make a big deal about it. Just be quiet. So he can go out, do his thing, and just move on. Everybody else would have made a big deal. Here, my client today, because they want the attention. So that people say, hey, I want that guy. And I'm thinking, no, I don't want that guy. I like that guy. I like the guy who walks in the courtroom and says, morning, Marge. Morning. Morning, Nick. Wes, how are you? Good morning. Hey, Dave, how are you? Smiling Sue, good to see you. He knows the bailiff. He knows the clerk. He knows everybody. He's a nice guy. Plus, you want to walk over and ask the person who's in court every day, you said, if your son got into a jam, who would you want to represent your son? You've been here. I say, oh, so-and-so. They know because they're there every single day. That's what you want. Not somebody who's on TV. I will fight for you. No. Fight. What are you fighting for? Last year we made 25 billion. Really? Oh, good. Some adjuster wants to take you down. Good. You're the one we want to show. Okay, fine. We'll set some money aside. We'll go to trial on this one. Why? Because you're a pain in the ass. We want to teach you plain as guy. These people who, we're going to fight for you. We're going to fight. I don't want to fight. Who's fighting? Not fighting. I got a great case. What are you fighting for? Where are you fighting? I don't understand this. They got a good case. I got my arm hacked off at a Piggly Willy. What are you going to fight for? This is an easy one. Question is how much? That's what you want. All right, dear friends. God bless yous. God bless yous all. Please remember, follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. Also, the legal channel, Lionel Legal. Okay, and I thank you. You have a wonderful night. I hope your day was great. Mine was splendiferous. It was so beauteous today. So beauteous. It was 70 was just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. And I thank you for that. And let me see what else is there. I think that's about it. Yeah, that's it. So thank you, dear friends. Thank you. And to Barry Taylor, thank you. Hillbilly, thank you. And Dean Diefendorf, thank you very much for your kindness, for your support, for your beneficence, for your magniloquence and magnificence, and your philanthropy, and your you know, you got the point. All right, dear friends, see you tomorrow, 8 a.m. And don't forget, no. In fact, no. I don't know when. So make sure you're subscribed. I'm glad I don't think it's going to be 8 o'clock. I don't know. Got some business. So I may just hop on right away. So make sure you are subscribed and make sure that you hit that little bell so you're notified when we go live. Okay? You've got to do that. All right, dear friends, we'll see you sometime tomorrow. And until then, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya.